What have I ever hated on Tank about? There's nothing to hate on him about. When you compare the careers, it's like night and day, boy. You can't even tie my shoestrings, you know? So to call me a hater is crazy. I never hated on him. Always supported him. I always watched his fights. I never said he couldn't fight. When you go back to things like a person of being a hater, Tank came at me 1st. I never said nothing to him. He said that I had the glass chin. He the one that said if he touched my chin, I was going to sleep.
I remember that.
He the one that started, this I would say beef or whatever you want to call it, disagreement with Terence Crawford because I was coming up to fight Spence. He the one that was saying my name. I never said nothing about him. So who's really the hater?
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy No Credit, and I'm back again with another one. I need you guys to do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon for more videos like this. That being said, let's get into it. Terence Crawford finally opens up about the situation with Gervonta Davis, and he had a lot to say, and I agree with everything Terence Crawford had to say. Gervonta Davis was the one that mentioned Terence Crawford first. This little disagreement or beef, whatever you guys want to call it, it only started because Gervonta mentioned Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford didn't mention Gervonta Davis. He wasn't worried about Gervonta Davis. He was minding his business. Gervonta Davis is the one that mentioned Terence Bud Crawford. This is what Crawford made clear. He says, I always supported Gervonta Davis' career. I never had anything negative to say about Gervonta Davis. I never even mentioned Gervonta Davis. When I was coming up to 147, Gervonta Davis is the one that had my name in his mouth. So this is crazy. Gervonta Davis has Terence Crawford's name in his mouth. Terence Crawford finally replies and checks him. And Gervonta Davis decides to play the victim. He's seen the video, a full video of Terence Crawford on Cigar Talk. And now the reporters try to get a crazy reaction out of a person. Gervonta Davis gets in his feelings and start going off on Bud. Says, he don't even know me like that. He's a hater. And now everybody's running with it. Terence Crawford's a hater. He's hating on Gervonta Davis because Gervonta Davis is sold out stadium. He's a pay-per-view draw. His fight with Lamar Rose just flopped. Is he really a pay-per-view draw? His fight with Lamar Rose just flopped. If you a pay-per-view draw, you a pay-per-view draw with whoever you fight. Whoever you fight, you got to be a pay-per-view draw with that person because you're a pay-per-view draw. You're the face of boxing. You're that guy, according to your fans, right? So I'm saying Gervonta, he mentioned Bud. He said Bud has a glass chin. He says if he touches Bud's chin one time, it's going to shatter. He says Earl Spence was going to do this to Bud, do that to Bud every time somebody mentioned Earl versus Bud. So he always had something negative to say about Bud. He took it upon himself to mention the man, go out his way and disrespect the man. And when somebody replies or responds to your disrespect, you call him a hater? How? It's not making sense. Bud has never been a hater. He's always been there for the youth. He's always been there for the younger generations. He's taken all of these guys under their wing. The only reason Gervonta is calling Bud a hater because Crawford says Gervonta needs to fight Keyshawn Davis or Shakar Stevenson. And Gervonta is not interested in fighting any of those guys. Well, maybe he might fight Key because he thinks Key is inexperienced. But he has no interest in fighting Shakur Stevenson. People need to hold Gervonta Davis accountable for his action. There's no reason Gervonta Davis can mention Bud, disrespect the man in every single interview, and then when Bud checks him, people want to act like everything Gervonta said, we're going to ignore it. No, that's not how the world works. That man, Terence Bud Crawford, was minding his business, wasn't worrying about Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis put himself in a business where he didn't need to be. It was none of his business when Terence Crawford and Earl Spence had their little beef. It's kind of similar to Jermell Charlo. Those guys was rivals. Why did Gervonta Davis insert himself into a place he didn't need to be? Yes, he was cool with Earl Spence, but that wasn't his buddy like that. They were just cool because they were on the same side of the street. PBC fighters. But they live miles and miles away from each other. Yeah, they hang out a couple times, but they wasn't like that. Gervonta took it upon himself to mention Bud, disrespect Bud, and now he has this victim mentality where he's saying, he don't know me like that, so he gotta be hating on me. No, he's just responding to a question from the interviewer. The interviewer said, what's the situation with Gervonta? He says, I don't like Gervonta like that because he's a little arrogant. And Gervonta is arrogant because you took it upon yourself to mention a guy who never said anything negative about you because you feel like you're this big of a star. You can say whatever you want to say and not get checked for it. And that's the problem. And people refuse to hold Gervonta Davis accountable. People refuse to hold Gervonta Davis accountable for his actions, his disrespect to the pound-for-pound king, Terence Bud Crawford. But yet, they want to jump in these comment sections and say, Crawford's hating on Gervonta Davis. Because they don't follow the sport. Most of these people that say stupid shit like that, they're new boxing fans. They don't realize that Gervonta had Terence Crawford name in his mouth first. Why didn't you check Gervonta when he mentioned Bud, but you want to check Bud when he mentions Tank? It makes absolutely no sense, and the world doesn't work or revolve around you Tank Davis fans or Tank Davis himself. So it doesn't work like that. The truth will always prevail. Gervonta is the hater for real. Anyway, it's your boy No Credit, and I'm out.